Today, ang i-discuss natin ay tips on how to prepare your introduction or your chapter 1. So, let's start. So, sa chapter 1 natin, you need to prepare first the following. So, meron tayong 9 na ipe-prepare for chapter 1. First one is your introduction. Number 2 is the statement of the problem. Number 3 is the objectives of the study. Number 4 is the significance of the study. Number 5 is time and place of the study. Number 6 is the scope and the limitation of the study. Number 7 is the theoretical framework. Number 8 is the conceptual framework. And number 9 is the definition of terms. Okay, so iba-iba kasi yung itsura ng chapter 1 ng bawat school. So, sa school natin, ito yung ating susundin. Okay? So, let's start with the introduction. So, ano nga ba yung laman when we say introduction? Okay. Dapat ito yung, sa first paragraph nyo, you need to have at least your own interpretation on why you want to start this study. O, paano mo siya i-interpret yung proposed title mo. So, yun yung dapat na meron tayo sa ating paragraph number 1, 2, and 3. As much as possible, yung paragraph 1, 2, and 3, sarili niyong gawa. And then, we start with the following. So, dapat, yung trends. So, ano ba yung trends dun sa title na yun? Ano ba yung study na gusto mong i-discuss dun? So, dapat nakalaan dun yung tinatawag na trends. Yung issues. Ano ba yung issues? Bakit nga ba pinag-aaralan natin yan? For example, yung COVID issues. So, dapat dun sa introduction mo or dun sa background of the study mo, nandoon siya. The objectives, bakit gusto mo siyang pag-aralan? Parang i-interpret mo siya. Ano ba yung objective mo? Bakit gusto mong pag-aralan yung study na yun? And the interpretation itself. So, how you interpret it. So, sa introduction, they are divided into your own interpretation and interpretation of the authors or kung sino yung pinagbabasihan mo ng study mo. Your introduction, it should have at least 5 to 10 pages. So, dapat malaman siya. So, dapat doon pa lang maiintindihan na natin or ng panel bakit gusto niyo ba siyang gawin or bakit gusto niyo itong title na to ang gusto niyong gawin. Okay? Number 2 is the statement of the problem. So, ano ba yung statement of the problem? Ito yung questionnaire nyo. So, dapat they are divided into independent variable, yung question 1 mo. For example, nakalagay doon yung inyong business profile nung company or kung sa inyo naman, kung tungkol naman sa tao, yung personal information niya or personal profile or profiling niya. So, ang tawag dun sa mga yun ay independent variable. And then, questionnaire number 2 is yung tinatawag na dependent variable, the interrelation of the independent variable and the dependent variable or interrelation between the question number 1 and question number 2 and the implication of the study, yung pinakadulong question. Okay? So, in short, your statement of the problem are divided into general and specific object. In other words, a statement of the problem are divided into 4. First one is the independent variable. Number 2 is the dependent variable. Number 3 is the interrelation between the SOP number 1 and 2 or interrelation between the independent variable and dependent variable. And the last part is yung tinatawag natin na implication of the study. Yung objectives of the study is para rin siyang statement of the problem. Okay? So, they are divided into objective number 1, objective number 2, objective number 3, and objective number 4. So, ano yung difference between the 4? So, para rin siyang SOP or statement of the problem, kaya lang ito ay statement. Ang dulo niya is tuldok. So, it is related in comparison to SOP, which is composed of number 1, the independent variables, number 2, the dependent variables, number 3, the interrelation between the independent variable and dependent variable, and number 4 is a statement with regards to the implication of the study. Okay, next is the significance of the study. So, ano ba yung meron doon? So, here, it discusses who will benefit. Okay, so sino ba yung magbe-benefit nung study na to? and directly significant to the study. This is usually repetitive, paulit-ulit, but need to be understandable to make your thesis more reliable. So, sino-sino ba sila? Example, significance of the study to the cities and municipalities, to the household, to the industries. So, depende yan sa study nyo. Kung study is related to company, to LGU, to COVID-related, to the school, to the student, to the teacher. So, depende. Ayan, pwede rin siyang to the parents, to the student, and to the future researchers. So, mostly ito, hindi dapat ito nawawala. Kasi itong study na to, once na natapos na, pwede siyang gamitin. Okay? Pwede mo siyang gamitin. Kaya yung dulo ng significance of the study, kung para kanino man yan, laging merong to the future researchers at the end of your paper or at the end of your significance of the study. Okay. Next is yung tinatawag nila na time and place of the study. So, ano ba yung dapat na meron sa time and place of the study? So, tatandaan nyo, it specifies when, so kailan. For example, nag-study kayo from September 1 up to December 31, 2020. So, dapat naka-indicate doon. And where you conduct the study. For example, nakalagay doon, on the selected cities in Imus City, Cavite. So, particularly, saan banda sa Imus? Kung barangay yan, so i-indicate nyo kung anong klaseng barangay yan. For example, where you conduct your study, kunyari ang respondent nyo o yung magsasagot ng paper nyo is mga worker sa vicinity ng Imus City, Cavite. So, anong klaseng worker? So, ano ba sila? Mga worker ba sila ng supermarket? Worker ba sila sa isang warehouse? So, dapat naka-indicate doon. At saka, saan mo siya pinag-aralan? For example, Imus City, from barangay to barangay 1 up to barangay, kung yung dulong barangay. So, saan mo siya particularly kinundak? For example, Imus City, Cavite, pero doon lang sa particular barangay or sa particular 3 barangays lang. So, dapat naka-indicate yon. Another example is where you conduct the study. For example, ang pinag-aaralan nyo ay senior high school ng selected cities in Cavite. So, saan-saang school yun? So, dapat naka-indicate din doon. Particularly in, kunyari, public, mga public school or state university. So, dapat naka-indicate doon sa time and place of the study. Okay? Next is the scope and delimitation of the study. So, ano ba yung laman yun? Dito, in-specifies niya yung tinatawag na SEC approach. First one is, you need to state the theory of your study. You need to explain. So, ano ba yun? Bakit ba? Anong importance nun? So, explain mo. And then, you conceptualize the theory. Kumbaga, i-indicate mo lang kung ano yun lang yung limitation ng study mo. For example, ang pinag-aaralan mo ay budget ng barangay. So, what particular barangay lang? So, bakit ba gusto mo siyang pag-aralan? I-explain mo siya. I-conceptualize mo kung bakit. Ano yung pag-aaralan mo? Budget ba? Okay? Yung mga tao ba? Yung ugali ba nila? Yung kita nila? O yung naitutulong nila sa nasasakupan nilang barangay? So, you need to discuss. Kasi hindi mo naman pwedeng i-discuss lahat. Kaya nga may limitation ng study. So, dito yun dapat naka-indicate. Okay? Next is yung theoretical framework na tinatawag. So, ano ba yung theoretical framework? Dito, naka-indicate yung summary or nung mga actual study na ginawa ng author. So, with response to the title or to your study. So, ilagay mo dito sa gitna yung title mo and then yung nakapaligid niya. So, pwede siyang 4, pwedeng 5, pwedeng 6. Nakapaligid doon yung study na ginawa ng mga author. So, i-discuss mo lang naman, maikli lang, na para ma-prove lang na, dapat ko pala itong pag-aralan. Kasi sabi ni author ganon, sabi ni author ganon, sabi ni author ganon, sabi ni author ganon. So, ano ba yung importance ng theoretical framework? Okay? So, again, when we say theoretical framework, it's the summary of the actual proofs of the author with response to your study. Okay? So, pwede siya iba-iba. Pwede siyang pinakakonte is dapat 4 na boxes. Naka-indicate dyan yung mga authors. And then, nasa gitna yung title mo. Ganun ginagawa yung theoretical framework. Next is yung tinatawag natin conceptual framework. So, alam nyo naman, di ba, from the word concept. Okay? Concept. Pwede ka mag-prepare ng IPO format or yung tinatawag na input, process, output format. So, in IPO, you indicate your SOP or the independent variable. And then, process, paano mo siya gagawin? Through by using your primary data and secondary data. Okay, alam niyo naman ko siguro kung ano yung magiging laman ng primary data and your secondary data. So, when we say primary data, based on the datas that you get from your survey questionnaire, and then the secondary data get from your the books, from the different books, different journals, or newspaper, or clips na ginawa ng certain author na nakakapag-indicate kung ano yung meron sa study or makakapag-prove na dapat ito talagang study na to ay pag-aralan natin. Okay. And then the output or the end result. So, dito ilalagay natin yung output. Ang tawag doon is the IPO format or the input, process, output format. And then, we have the dependent variable format. So, from the independent variable format, nakalagay dito yung SOP number 1 mo, and the dependent variable, nakalagay dito yung, mostly, dito nakalagay yung title mo, or yung kung ano yung merong questionnaire na nasa SOP number 2 mo. Ang tawag natin doon is independent and dependent variable format. And it should be answer. Okay? Or your own format. Okay. Next is yung tinatawag natin na definition of terms. So, ano ba yung definition of terms? So, dito, huwag mong pahirapan yung sarili mo. I-discuss mo lang yung specific terms lang na related sa yung study. So, sa definition of terms, pwede siyang operational, pwede rin siyang conceptual. Pero mostly, sa atin, dinidiscuss natin yung operational format. So, pag sinabing operational, own meaning mo yan, base dun sa pagkakaintindi mo na related dun sa study mo. Ang tawag dun is operational definition. Ang conceptual naman, hihingi ka ng tulong sa dictionary para may discuss mo siya ng mas maayos. For example, ang gumagawa ng thesis is psychology student. So, mahirap kasi siyang i-discuss on your own word unlike sa business or sa mga, ang study ay mga entrep student or the business management student, madali niyang ma-interpret kung ano yung kahulugan nun based dun sa study na meron siya. Pero, pagdating sa conceptual, definition, kapag ang gumagawa ng thesis ay mga psychology student, mga medical doctor, etc., yung mga student or IT student, kailangan nila talaga ng need ng dictionary. Pero hindi naman actually na kokopyahin mo siya. Pero may part doon na dapat maipaliwanag ng dictionary at ng sarili niya. Ang tawag doon is the conceptual definition. Okay? This is the end of discussion for Chapter 1. I hope na nakatulong to sa inyo. Maraming salamat po. Again, this is Mam Ching from Cavite State University.